all that we are supposed to cover, we are still going to cover them. Our learning outcomes for this particular discussion is basically on 3 areas. So we want to look at mentoring, and by the end of this particular discussion, you'll be able to monitor your business using the right technique. You'll be able to evaluate your business using the right technique. You also will be able to create business indicators, milestones with relevant activities to schedule. And you also be able to relate with identified business and entrepreneurial mentors that will help you to guide your business that you are undertaking. So the content is what we have just said, the topic, but it has been broken down to sessions. We will look at business monitoring, the rationale, the contribution, and the techniques. Then we look at business evaluation, the overview, purpose, effect, models, and the ingredient for evaluation. Then we are going to look at business activities scheduling. Then we look at mentoring, and we are going to round up with mentorship versus role modeling. Are they the same? Is there any difference? And if there is any difference, in what areas are they different? So these are just, in a nutshell, the overview of what we are going to look at within the space of time that we have for this discussion. So I want us to look at this part. I don't know whether all of us we have seen this screen, and I want us to look at it. You read it, and it is just the summary of all that we are going to discuss in this particular discussion. And I want us to look at it together. I hope we can read it by ourselves. Can you read it? Moderator, help me. Are you hearing me, moderator?
Yeah, yes, we can read it.
Okay, please.
Yeah,
If you have muted all other
yes.
Okay, I want to give room for one of our participants to read what is on the screen. Can you allow one of the participants to read what is on the screen?
Okay. Participants, can one of you read?
Okay. Imagine, I'm going to read.
Yes, thank you.
Imagine your car is giving you trouble, and you decide to change the air filter to see if it works. It doesn't. Then you replace the pump, none of it helps, and eventually the car dies. Unfortunately, it turned out you hadn't checked or changed the car's oil in over a year. All the efforts you put in to fix your car was a waste, without taking the time to pinpoint the reason for your vehicle's poor performance. You made uninformed decisions and spent money unwisely.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
So if you look at this particular scenario, it encompasses all that we are going to discuss today. And you found out that when you undergo a problem, a business, you are likely going to face with problems. Like this particular gentleman or gentle lady having problem with his or her car. And he was trying to put a solution to the problem. But all the approaches he puts on did not work until he found out that even the car engine oil for over a year. He has never changed it. But he has been using different kinds of means to fix the car. And all those efforts were wasted. Why? Because he failed to pinpoint the reason. And that is where our monitoring and evaluation comes in. Anytime a businessman is using wrong approach to solve a problem faced in the business and is spending money, is plowing money, is doing all sorts of things to ensure that this particular business perform without getting to the root of the matter, it means that that business will not actually thrive. And the business will continue to perform poorly. And that is a waste of time because the decisions being taken is not what is supposed to be. And money are being expended unwisely. On this particular note, we look at monitoring, business monitoring. And when you are talking about monitoring, it's a continuous internal management arrangement to put a searchlight into all the activities of the business to see whether the business is achieving its objectives and to see whether the business is actually being undertaken in line with the time frames that have been set up or put up for the execution of the business, or whether the budget that we have actually proposed, whether we are following it. And your monitoring will involve regular provision of regular feedback. By the time you are monitoring your business, you get feedback on the progress of the business implementation. You want to know whether your business is actually going on well, whether the implementation processes and activities you intend to put in place, whether they are actually going on well. Then you also be able to identify the problems that you are facing. You look at the track of the resources you are plowing, its acquisition and the allocation of these particular resources. You also want to look at your delivery services. You monitor it to see whether your production and the delivery services are actually what they are supposed to be. Your monitoring will also help you to track your records, especially your financial record, your cost records, and be able to know where there is a hole, wherein your resources are actually going into. When you want to monitor a business, you are monitoring your business in order to improve your business processes. You want to identify the areas of strength. You want to identify the areas of weaknesses of the business. And you are doing this so that your business will be able to grow. If you look at that particular breach, we are talking about steady business growth. Yes, it has a root at the lower end, and that is your zero beginning. But as time goes on, it begins to climb. You begin to go up little by little and steadily with uniform acceleration. But anytime you now find out that it's going the other way around, instead of going up, it's now coming down, then you need to monitor that particular business to avoid such a phenomenon. The major rationales for business monitoring is for you to check your workflow And you must be sincere and transparent with yourself in doing this. The responsibility of your workflow, your human resources, and how are you planning these resources to give you what you want. Your time of execution of all the activities are also very, very important. So you also monitor your business to ensure that you measure the time of execution of every activities. Any activity that's supposed to be for 1 week, and you are now spending 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or even a month on that particular activity of the business, it may not actually all go well. You want to monitor to see whether you are complying with timelines. You see, when you want to produce your goods or you want to render service, the production of your goods must not just be indefinitely. You must set your timelines. How many tons of gari do I want to present or do I want to produce within 1 month? Then what are the timelines that I'm setting for myself to deliver this particular gari to the market? You also want to look at your risks and your operating costs. You also monitor your risk. You know, you have been told in this particular, because of this training, that as you are planning your success, you must also plan something to mitigate your risk in case they happen. And don't go into your business as if you have no risk at all or to bear, and you think that everything will just be going on smoothly. No. So you want to monitor your business so as to reduce those risks that you have identified, so that you are not going to be spending money to mitigate those risks when they happen. Then your operating cost is also very, very important. How much will go into your production? How much do you need on each aspect of your production, for your machinery, for your staff, the staff that are making the production, and also for your raw materials, all the electrical payments that you want, all the medical, the bills that are coming into your operating system, your rent and everything. Are you actually monitoring them? Then monitoring will also help you to communicate your goals, your objectives, and your results. You communicate your goals by actually, when you monitor, people you will know. And through your activities, you communicate to the outside, the society, that yes, you are following your goal and your objectives are being achieved as at when due. And your results will blow off and people will see it, and you'll be able to tell whether these results are acceptable or not. You cannot work alone. You need the team. You need the team. And you need to monitor the engagement of each team. And when I'm talking about the team, I don't mean only those people that are helping you in the execution of the business. I mean even both your internal staff and also the outsiders, your customers that are helping you to boost this particular business. They are part of your team, whether you like it or not. Then you also need to promote their engagement. How do you want to engage them? And therefore, how will people know that this set of people around me, they are helping me to promote my business? Monitoring contributes a lot of things into business. And part of the contributions are management insights. When you monitor, it will give management the authentic insight of the growth or decline of that particular business. You know, I told us last time during our second topic of this particular training that we have strategic, people who are policy makers in the business. And I did mention that you, though being a sole proprietor, You are also the manager, you are the director, you are the executive of this particular business. So you need an insight as to the growth of your business. And that cannot be done except you monitor your daily activities. It will also help you to identify your problem. It contributes to problem identification, where the problems are before they actually, escalate. You'll be able to knead the board before it actually grows higher. Then it will also give you some opportunities. Highlight where the areas of your opportunities, like in your market. As you are monitoring your marketing system, and you are working with your salespeople, and you are working with your market department, and you are working with your customers, then when you monitor them, even through that, as you are monitoring, how much do they need? How much of these goods am I going to supply to them? And you find out that a customer that you supply your goods to today, is demanding more every time. So you will be happy. And the customer is also happy that your goods is actually being demanded for. And that will give you greater opportunity to widen the tentacles of your market. Monitoring also contributes to transparency in all things. Transparency in every aspect of your business. If you don't monitor, you cannot measure the level of the transparency of your staff. You cannot measure the transparency even among your customers. You cannot even measure the transparency of you yourself, that is the proprietor of that particular business. Because at times somebody did mention during the course of the training that you must separate yourself from the business, that you don't eat out of the business without being accounted for. That because you are selling kerosene does not mean that anytime you need kerosene in your household, you have to just tell your daughter or your boy, go and take 1 bottle of kerosene, go and take 1 gallon of kerosene, and you use it at home without you paying for it. So but when you monitor, you now find out that, I can find out that this particular week, I measured the quantity of my stock of kerosene, and I found out that it has much been expended. You now look at how have you dispensed them? How many customers have come? How much have you gotten? And you now find out that what you have even eaten at home out of that particular kerosene is even more than what they have paid for. So that will give you a redress to come back and set your goal, and that will lead us to the goal setting. So you can now, after you have found out that something is going on wrong through your monitoring, then you can reset your goals. You can look at your objectives and make sure that your objective tallies with the vision and the focus of the business. It also help you to monitor your partners. It contributes to partners monitoring. Your partners that you are dealing with, your partners that are helping you to execute that particular business. You cannot do it alone. Maybe you are a partner in the business, 5 of you, 3 of you, 2 of you, but only 2 of you are the executive that are actually directly expending your time to garner resources together to make sure that the business grows. Then you monitor yourself. By monitoring yourself and see if your partner is the kind that doesn't matter, that always take money from the business every time. My partner, I need 5,000 naira today. I have family problem, and the money is being withdrawn little by little. At the end of the month, I will pay you from the stipend I'm collecting as my monthly remuneration. But at the end of the day, when the month ends, this partner has collected more than what is actually expecting to receive. It means that it's already digging into the resources of that particular business, and it may not all go well. So as a businessman, as an entrepreneur, whatever thing you are doing, you must ensure that this monitoring takes the rightful place in your operation. Then what are the ways you need to monitor? Your business performance. How will you monitor your business performance? You may think that things are actually going on well because money is coming in, money is going out, and you did not sit down to look at it, scrutinizing how the money goes and how the money, come in, how the money goes out. The first thing you need to do is to do what we call benchmarking. Benchmarking. And when you are benchmarking, you want to compare your business performance with the performance of people outside the business that are doing the same thing that you are doing, selling the same thing that you are selling. For instance, if you every month you find out that your sales is increasing by 1%, maybe annually or monthly or anyhow, and you are happy that, yes, thank God my business is not static, it's moving, because every year I have 1% sales increase, and you are complacent without comparing to what your competitor is doing and how the sales of your competitor is rising. You will think that you are at the top of the whole situation. But by the time you now find out that that particular A and B enterprise that is there, you now find out that it's growing at the rate of 5% annually, then it means that you need to carry out a monitoring exercise on your own business. Why is it that you are only rising by 1% and your competitor is rising by 5%? So you benchmark your activities, your operations with that which your competitor is actually going through, so that you'll be able to know whether you are growing at par with them or they are actually growing higher than you are. You can also do what we call variance analysis. And when we are talking about variance analysis, we are talking about looking at your cost, your revenue, your budget against the original estimates. Original estimates is what you are able to do. If you have planned in your budget that you are going to spend 500,000 naira on buying equipment for the business, but at the end of the day, you now spend 750,000 naira. So there is a variance of 250,000 naira. Then it means that there is already some problems. A challenge is likely to come on. And also your revenues, you look at your income, you are budgeted in your business plan, as our business plan expert was teaching us day before yesterday, and telling us that you have your assumptions. How much are you getting from each of the units, components of your business? You have to make your assumption and plan and prepare, and also create some things that will enable you to find out whether what you are planning is what you are going to get. At the end of the day, if your revenue assumption is now lower than what you are planned, there is a variance there. There is a difference there. Then you need to monitor to identify where that particular problem is. You can also monitor your business performance by do what we call trend analysis. And when you are saying trend, 1 month is not just a trend. You cannot say, I have a trend of 1 month. So if it is on a monthly basis, you want to trend your business, and you want to take weekly trend, monthly trend, annually trend. By annual trending, it depends on you, but you need to use the sequencing of your trending, the performance of your business. Some of us will say that quarterly, I want to do my monitoring. And when you stock your office or you stock your business, at the end of the day, and your staff, your sales girls, sales boy, they are there, your marketer, they are there, and they are doing the business and they are going on. But at the end of every 3 months, you begin to look at the stock again. Look at it and to find out whether what has gone out tallying with what have come in. So, and you do that every three months. That is trend analysis. So you don't do it 1 month this time, and the other month it is another 6 months that you do it. Another time it's taking another year to do your monitoring. So you base it on whatever thing, on whatever trend indicator that you want to use, your guidelines of monitoring. And when you now investigate this, you have what we call negative and positive trends. So when you are negating the trend, the time, when you are not following the intervals that you have set for yourself, you have negative trending. You do it every month, but you are now skipping. You are skipping. Instead of doing it every month, you are doing it 2 months. After that, you do it also 3 months, three months. You change again, you come back to 1 month. You find out that there is a negative trending there. At the same time, when you have your positive trending, you must ensure that the time set for yourself is constant for your monitoring. So your benchmarking, your variance, and your trend analysis will enable your monitoring to be effective. What are the components of your monitoring areas? When you want to monitor your performance, what are the components you look at in your monitoring? And you look at human resources, you look at your finances, you look at your stocks, you look at your machineries, you look at your market and its environment. And what we are saying really is that you carry out what we call business activity monitoring. And these activities encompass what we have mentioned and even more, depending on the kind of business that you are actually running. But I want to tell you that whatever thing you are doing must be based on the standard. When you want to monitor, what are you monitoring? They ask you to submit a business plan now. And at the end of the day, they scrutinize the business, they find out that your business is promising, and the money is released to you. Then you have a working document. Your working document is your business proposal, is your business plan. So whatever monitoring you want to undertake will be done on the basis of how you want to implement that particular business plan. So you need to look at your business plan critically, every aspect of it, the human resources aspect, the financial aspect, the stocks aspect, your machineries and the tools aspect, your market and your environment. So you need to look at this. So we want to look at now together, because some of us, we are already in the business, and for those that also want to go into it newly, I want us from the class to look at these areas. You take each of these components and you share with us how you have been monitoring these components. Just choose one of them and you tell us from your experience, how have you been monitoring your human resources? How have you been monitoring your finances? How have you been monitoring your stocks, your machines, your market, and the supplies? How have you been monitoring that? So I want to hear from you. So if you want to talk, you can raise your hands, or you can just chat it. Our moderator will help us to look at that. And therefore, let's share from you. How have you been carrying out your monitoring? What are the tools and the techniques you are using to do any of this particular area of your business? So the floor is open now for contributions from you. I want you to identify the tools you are using in your business. And what are the techniques you are employing to monitor all these components of your business? Do you have anybody? Is there anybody raising hand? You just look at any of the areas. You don't need to talk on all of them. Any area that you are interested in.
For now, none.
I think one Lola's hand is raised. I don't know.
Okay, let's give Lola the floor so as for her to share with us.
Okay. Good day, everyone. Since I'm into service-oriented business, before I started the job, I just got some basic stocks, like the fabrics. As I told you earlier that I'm into events management, I got some basic stocks like fabrics. I bought some basic colors. I got some working tools like staplers, ribbons, and voile materials, and so on like that. So, but because the nature of business depends on order from people. So anytime we have order, and the person asks for specific colors, you look at your stock with what I have. So if the color the customer asks for is not available, I quickly get to the market to get the stock, and the work will be carried out. Yes, it's so. But what I just want to say in this type of service-oriented business, is always very good that whenever you have an order like that, you do your best so that if any customer comes for such occasion, whether it is an official one or social, whatever, they can easily ask for who did this job. Then one can get subsequent patronage from potential customers. So that is the way it is, and we keep on stocking, you keep on going ahead. Whatever you have now, subsequent customer, you can still use it for other people, and you keep on restocking, because the way it is now,
It's
the world
okay.
is trending.
It's okay, Mrs. Lola. Thank you very much as an event manager. But that's your materials that you stock.
Yes.
How do you ensure that, let's say today, you bought different types of colors of those materials? How do you monitor its effective use? And how do you monitor that what you think you have, you still have it in stock? So that at the end of the day, after you have promised your customer, and your customer say, yes, bring this, don't worry, I have it. And at the end of the day, on the day of the event, you go there, you don't find it again. So how do you monitor your staff? Or you are the one doing the work alone? To ensure that your materials are effective, of good quality, and when you need them, you find them.
Okay. I'm going to be sincere and straight to the point, because it has happened like that before. Because the workers that we have, at times some of them behave funny. Then you think, oh, this fabric is available, you have this one in stock, and maybe an emergency work comes, because it's not everything that they book ahead. So you quickly go to the store. Oh, where is this fabric? You now discover, oh, this is not there. What happened? As at that time, none of them, hold up that, oh, this is what we use it to. Or we even discover that some of those materials have been pieces, maybe from previous job. So we can quickly make an order, and if it is not possible, I get like a lending from a business partner, like we have our address, and yes, other vendors.
So you network.
Yes. Network is also very good because this event they are to different levels.
It's okay. Thank you very much,
Okay.
Mrs. Lola.
Okay.
So we have heard from Mrs. Lola, who is a service producer, a service rendering vendor. So can we hear from somebody who is on sales of goods? Can we hear from anybody who is on sales of goods? You monitor any of these?
There is one other lady on the line, Charity Ogeche.
Okay.
Charity Ogeche, you have the line. Yes, Charity. She wants to share her experience on human resources. Good morning.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I want to share my experience on human resources. I'm into services currently, though I want to go into portrait and consultancy. What we do in our offices, first of all, we take attendance on the staff. Then we have regular weekly meeting to review our operations over the week. And we try to give all our clients extra services. Like if our clients having a challenge and they call us at any point, we'll be able to answer them and follow up on their cases so that they can be quick delivery and that we can also maintain our promises and integrity. Then we look at accuracy of the job we do so that our clients will not become a victim of tax or whatever area we're trying to address. And at the end of the month, we have a team meeting. What have we achieved? What have we not achieved? Where are we supposed to be? Why are we not there? That's my short experience.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Ogechi, for that beautiful contribution. So is there anybody in Agric? Anybody from agricultural sector?
Yeah, I also have a crop farm.
Okay, can we give another person chance? If I have somebody else from agro business who want to share their experience, anybody from agro? Okay, if there is nobody, Mrs. Charity, say what you want to say in 1 minute.
Okay, sir. I have a farm where I make beans and yam. And what I do in monitoring, I want to refer to monitoring of stocks now, is when it is time to harvest, I stand there myself to see that everything is harvested and put into the vehicle. Then occasionally I visit the farm without announcement. And to say it's 1 minute.
Thank you very much. So what we are saying really is that when you want to monitor, you must have your tools. Your human resources tools, what are they? It's not just a thing. You can monitor when your staff did not even know that you are taking record of each of the activities of what is going on there. So you monitor the punctuality of your staff. How are they coming? How regular are they? From there, you know the latecomers. From there, you know those that are coming very early, but at the end of the day, they cannot pinpoint this what I've achieved for the day. And to monitor that, you ask them to write the report of whatever thing they have done for that particular day. If you are into sales, you stock your shop, you have your sales boys and sales girls. You monitor they are going out and coming in. You can install the ink card indicator so that anytime they come to the shop, there's a place. They tell you that, yes, they log in their presence. And when they are going, they also clock out. So they are clocking in and clock out. You can also help you to monitor their movement. And also, you monitor their activities. by you yourself in the store, going around once in a while to check. Maybe you have given this portion of the supermarket for to monitor or to undertake. But when you go there, you find out that is there. And some shares were covering this particular person. The person may be sleeping there. And the customers are even passing, nobody to attend to them. So you must have, whether paper and especially electronically now. In this training, our ICT experts have helped you, like Alima shared with us, how you can get your staff records and monitor them, what they do. So you must monitor this. Also your finances. You have your financial software or somebody whom you can trust to keep your financial record, so that at the end of the day, you'll be able to follow up with your cash flow in and flowing out. And you'll be able to also to know that at any point in time, you want to know this financial statement or status of your business, you can quickly get it as and when due. We have different kinds of software, accounting software. You know, we have Peachtree, we have Paciolis, and if your own business is actually, is unique, and you want to have your customized financial software system that you want to use, you can employ programmers to come and give you a small programming that will power your finances. Then for your stock, you must get your stock records. That can be manual, depending on the kind of business that you are doing, or it can be electronics. And today, let's empower and seize the opportunity of electronics to do a lot of things, so that your stock bins of those days, where you record your stock, the received and the out, the day you receive the stock, the day each of the items goes out, and that should be on daily basis. And today we can use machines to do that. When you go to well-established supermarkets, what do you have there? The person you are going to pay, those people that will attend to you, they will be able to, when you say, I want this particular drug in that particular pharmacy, they will check from their computer to know whether that particular drug is available. And when they find it is available, they will tell you the price. But if it is not available, you'll be able to know immediately. And so as for you to go and restock such an item, your machinery records must be kept very well. Your machines, when did you buy them? And therefore, every year, are you actually taking care of their depreciation? And what are you planning to get a new one when they are obsolete or they are not working for you the way you want to work it? You monitor your vehicles also, and you give on the vehicle, your sales vehicle, you have your record, a note where in they go in and go out, and the driver should be able to have the record. When did you leave this place? When are you coming back? Where are you going into? And you also call the destination that, yes, my salesperson is coming to deliver this particular goods. You know the time he leaves the office, you know the time that he gets there. So all these are very, very important for you to know. Derive your tools and techniques as appropriate for you. This one will lead us to business evaluation. When we are talking about business evaluation, you are talking about the worth of that particular business at the end of the day. This one is different from monitoring. Monitoring can be on daily basis. You monitor every day, you monitor every month, you monitor every week. But for evaluation, you want to know that at the end of all this monitoring exercise, does this particular business bring in the value that is supposed to add to you and to the society? Does it worth it for me to continue upon all my monitoring? Should I still continue in this particular business? That what you need at that time is not monitoring. What you need is comprehensive evaluation. And in your business as you are starting up, you need to have time when you also evaluate your business. You may determine that at the end of the year, you want to have a comprehensive evaluation. And when you are doing that evaluation, though, it will also encompass all that you have monitored. And you find out that you are only using monitoring to quickly, see the area of weakness so as for you to get to where you are going, to your destination. So at the end of the day, after 1 year, do I really get to this particular destination? And all effort I put into the business, does it actually worth it? The profit I say I want to get at the end of the day, do I get it? So to do that, you are going to do what we call analysis and review of the entire business as a whole. And evaluation will make you to take a decision at the end of the day. Decision to sack staff, if it is possible. Decision for you to actually expand the business if you are already making it. Decision to even cease the business from operation at the end of the day. Decision to expand your marketing horizon at the end of the day. So you cannot do evaluation without taking a decision, but your evaluation will depend on the data that you have gathered at the end of the day. Your evaluation can be focused on the following. Number one, your evaluation can be formative, your evaluation can be summative, your evaluation can be process-oriented, your evaluation can be outcome-oriented and impact-oriented. For formative evaluation, you have set your goal for the year, and therefore, within the year, say by the end of December, that is your record year, that is the year when you are going to look at all the activities that of what has gone in the year. So you can decide that though you have not reached the end of the year, after 6 months, you want to carry out what we call formative evaluation. At this particular time now, because you have not been able to reach the end of the year, but along the line, you want to diagnose how far, half a year, how far have you gone? And therefore, that will make you to diagnose some problems that may be arising from achieving your goal. At that particular time, you'll be able to see the area of the strength that make you to attain your goal for the year, your business goal, for the year at the end of the day. So within the operations of 1 year, you can carry out what we call formative evaluation. Then at the end of the year now, you now want to look at that 1 year, that this particular year, I want to now do comprehensive evaluation to know what I've done and how far I've gone for the year in this business. Then you do what we call summative evaluation for the year. But the problem is this: if you carry out summative evaluation at the end of 1 year, that summative evaluation for the next year can become a formative evaluation because you are keeping your record. And as you do the summative evaluation for year 2020, you do for 2022, 2021, you also do for 2022. But your summative evaluation for 2020 may be a formative evaluation for the following year. I hope you are getting me, because at the end of that particular year, there are some problems you are likely to encounter. You have collected all the data for the year, and you don't want all the mistake of that particular year to be repeated in the following year. Then your summative evaluation for that year becomes your formative evaluation for the following year. You can also carry out what we call process evaluation. Your process evaluation, for those of us that are in production, this one actually go with you very well. So if your business is process-based, production-based, your implementation of that particular business, you must focus on that evaluation. So if your evaluation is just on the production of aspect of the business, that is what you are going to focus in on. You plow, so much stock of raw materials into that business, and at the end of the day, you process everything. You bring everything together. You announce every resources together into your implementation. But at the end of the day, you are not getting what you are supposed to get. You can also focus your evaluation on outcome. No, this time now, I'm now looking at my process. I want to see the outcome of this business for 1 year. That is outcome evaluation. And there you are going to look at the value. What you have set as your goals, your objectives. Are you able to attain them at the end of the day? What about the impact? What impact are you making with the business? Impact on the society, impact on your competition, impact on your partner, impact on your staff, impact that you are making to solve the problem that you said that particular business is going to solve. Are you making that impact? So you can carry out an evaluation in that particular area. So for your evaluation to be effective, it should lead to having 2 types of events, either direct events or indirect events. For your indirect events, when you carry out the effectiveness of your business, it may lead to, you want to look at, yes, at the end of the day, variability of my business in my variance analysis is actually drastically, reduced. And to do this is not an indirect, this is not a direct evaluation. You can do it by yourself, but mostly you want to bring in an external person to come and do the variability with you or for you, so for them to know the gap between your expected and the actual. Then you can also have reduction in uncertainty. By the time you carry out the evaluation, uncertainty will not be there because you work with figures, you work with facts that you have been able to gather, and you process this particular facts and figure before you arrive at the outcome of that particular research or evaluation. So there is no any form of uncertainty again. You know what your market needs, and therefore you know what you need to do to be able to meet up with your market demands. Then it will reduce your uncertainty. It will also improve your coordination. When you evaluate, your coordination of the business will be, will be improved one way or the other. And it will improve your communication, because there's no way you can carry out evaluation without communicating your report to your staff, your report to your competitor, your report, even to those people that are helping you, to your mentor, so as we are going to see later. Then you can also generate more economical scale. You know where you belong. You know the value that you are getting from that particular business that you are giving. So evaluation will help you to have better understanding of each other's work, what you are doing as the proprietor, what your staff are doing at the operational level, and also what your customers are doing. You'll be able to have better understanding of yourself and the work that you are doing. Evaluation will also help you to reduce duplication of work, because there will be delegation, there will be assignment and delegation of duties and responsibilities in your business. So when you evaluate your staff and you see the allocation of schedules of their duties, then when you evaluate them, you'll be able to know that you are not duplicating the responsibility, because at the end of the day, you want them to account. But by the time you are duplicating a responsibility to A and B, they will be pushing blame between themselves. No, it is not me, it is A. A will say it is not me, it is B. And that will not be so. So in your evaluation, you have reduction of duplication of work. But on the operations of the business, you may have what we call direct effects, that you are going to reduce costs as much as possible. You remember our scenario for that particular man that have problem with his car and is using different other means, wasting money and time and energy to solve and to fix the problem. So the same way, when you evaluate your business, you are going to reduce costs at the end of the day, because you are not going to spend your cost to solve a problem. You'll be able to identify the key solution. When you know the problem, you'll be able to know the actual solution and antidote that you want to put into it. It will also help you to reduce cycle time. If your production is going to take 6 months at the end of the day, by the time you evaluate what your operations, your past operations, then you'll be able to reduce that particular cycle time. And by the time you see that your demand is very much, and if you don't meet that particular demand outside, you are likely to lose your customer. If you are supposed to do something, your cycling time of your operation before is 6 months, now what are you going to do? When you have evaluated that you have increased customers and sales and marketing outside, then what are you going to do to reduce the cycling time? Am I going to employ more staff? Am I going to buy more machines or more equipment that will help me? So at that particular time, you have reduction in meeting the demand of your customer. Then there will be improved quality. By the time you carry out your evaluation, then you see evaluation on your quality of your service. Give them questionnaire to fill. Ask them questions. What do you feel about the quality of my goods? How do you compare with the same kind of good that is being produced by another person? So you'll be able to see the comments concerning the quality of that particular good or your service, and you'll be able to improve on that. So that will have direct influence on your business. But I want to share with you just 2 models of our evaluation. We have different kinds of models in business, but in evaluation, we don't actually use theories in most of the cases. We depend more on models. And model form our own theory. When you are carrying out an evaluation, we want you to pin your evaluation into any models of evaluation that is appropriate. We have many of them. So for business-oriented evaluation, you can use these 2 models. You can use what we call ATO model or CIPP model. The ATO model means antecedent, transaction, and output. While CIPP means context, input, process, and product. So what models are telling you is this: for you to carry out a comprehensive evaluation of your business, you must look at what area of the business you want to look at. ATO is telling you that in your business, before you start your business, carry out what we call antecedent evaluation. And that is where your market survey, your market research that we discussed the other time we come in. Antecedent evaluation. You go into the market. What is there? What is operating there? This production I want to go into, this product I want to launch into the market, I want to go into as a business. Are they there? If they are there, is there any demand? If there is any demand, how many people are already supplying the market, and so on. So you look at the antecedent so as for you to create a gap. So if you don't do that evaluation, you will not be able to have a befitting business to go into. Then you look at your transaction. Your transaction is the mode of your implementation. You carry out an evaluation on your business. Now that you have decided, I want to go into farming and have animal husbandry. That is what I want to go into. After you have carried out your antecedent evaluation, then you want to go into it now. Then to go into it, you start. Then at a point, you come back, okay, am I actually doing this thing? The process is a process evaluation when you talk transaction. That is, you want to look at everything that is going into it, your business, with a view to finding out whether they are working or whether they are not working. And after we tell you that, well, what is your outcome at the end of the day? Can you evaluate your outcome? Can you get data, analyzing them, and make sure that the outcome is what you have actually expected? So, but Stubbeam said that, no, this is not so. You need to, your antecedent must be broken into context and input, so that for you to be specific, your context is like antecedent of ATO model, where you do your marketing research. But part of this, you also look at, evaluate your input. The input you have built into the business, evaluate it. Does it worth it at the end of the day, or it doesn't worth it? Then CIPP also said that you look at the process, like ATO that said transaction. Look at the process, and this process of production, am I doing well there? Am I not doing well? And also look at the product at the end of the day, which is the outcome of the ATO process. So let's look at how we apply this in business. Look at this CIPP model of business evaluation. We look at the context, we look at the process, and we're also going to look at the product. Look at it together. You look at the context. You have to identify your evaluation indicators. That is your existing situation. What situation is existing now concerning that product in the market? Then gap to fill. Gap to fill. So you look at the existing situation. What are the indicators? You look at it. The kind of goods, the kind of services, the kind of product. What are the nature of those products? Then you look at the gap. Is there any gap there? If I come to the market with this now, if I start this business, will they be able to leave what is there for me? And that is where your entrepreneurial idea will come in. So that by the time you want to do what others have been doing, what is the unique thing you are going to add? Those are your evaluation indicators. You identify them so as for you to maximize your effort on those uniqueness rather than what has been in the existence. And for you, in the context, you look at your market survey. Those are the tools you are going to use. You go there with market survey, you interview, and also interview other vendors. You interview your customer, prospective customers, and your vendors to see whether actually that thing you think is there is there. Then your input. CIPP will say, what are your inputs? You look at your human resources, you look at your finance, you look at your material. And the tools you use there is that you look at job performance. You can have your job performance card, you can have your financial records, you can use accounting software, you can use your inventory, you can use your acquisition documents to be able to track those areas of evaluation. Then your process also, that is your implementation. Volume of work done is part of your indicator. What is the volume of work? If every day you are into pure water and you want to be producing 100 sachets of bags of pure water every day, at the end of the day, what is the volume of work done? Adequacy of your equipment is part of your process. Are they adequate? If you are going to produce that particular pure water, the machines that you have, is it adequate to produce that quantity of water? Then availability of your required personnel. Do you also have it? Availability is not the number. Now, we are talking about, are they available? Do they come to work? That is implementation. That is process. Do they do the work when they are there? What is their workers' efficiency? Are they efficient at the work? No, when we are talking about efficiency, it's different from effectiveness. Something may be effective but not efficient, because if you are using 10 naira to carry out a business that to get a profit of 100 naira, and also another person is using 5 naira to get the same profit. No, the two approaches may be effective, but who among them is efficient? That is, you use small money to get greater profit is more efficient than somebody who is using higher cost to get greater profit. So you also look at your staff job satisfaction on the process. You look at the efficiency of the equipment and appropriateness of all your financial records. Are they helping you to be able to track what you are supposed to track during the course of your production or during the course of your rendering of that particular service? And To do that, you have your tools: job performance record, equipment adequacy card, workers efficiency rating, and staff job satisfaction scale. All these scales are there for you. You can create them on Excel sheet and you use them. Then also, I think there's something on the product also. So on the product side, sorry, I don't have it here. Maybe it was an omission. So on the product side, that is CIPP. So you want, what are the indicators of your product? You look at the quality of the product. You look at the packaging of that particular product. How do you package them? You look at the delivery of that particular product. Are they available as at when due? So all these things are the indicators for your product, because these are all the things that will help you to maximize your market. And to do that, to check your product, you can actually interview your customers, the consumers, to see whether they like the product at the end of the day. Let's look at this. What are the ingredients for your M&E? Set your action plan. That's the thing. Set your milestones. Identify your specific activities. Give timing. Use the right tools and give report at every stage of your monitoring and evaluation. It is very, very important. You have your milestones. Your milestones are unique results that you want to identify. We are going to see how we do this when we get to Gantt schedule. So you look at your milestones, and these are the milestones that are your focus, and they should be concrete and tangible. They are not something that you cannot see. My milestone is, as we are going to see later as my illustration, I said I want to produce 100 tons of gari every year. That is my milestone. And it's specific. If I'm able to produce 100 tons, I will know. If I'm not able to produce it, I will know. That is the result. So your milestone must be tangible, must be concrete for another person to see. But for you now to get to this milestone, to achieve these results, what are you going to do? You need activity to garner activities for you to achieve it. So what are the specific activities to carry out this? Then you give yourself timelines and you plow the right tools, and at the end of the day, your report will be fantastic. Let's look at this together before we move on. I quickly want you to do this. From my explanation, you have a business already, not that you are identifying now. You have a business in your mind already. Can you list all your major, at least list two milestones you want to achieve in the business for the first year of your operation? We are doing this exercise together, no time, but I want us to do it. Look at your business. What are your milestones? Just identify 2 milestones from your business, and from that particular milestone, identify activities you will do to carry out the business milestone. I don't know whether you get me. So I don't want anybody to be idle now, because I can call any of you, or I will ask my moderator to call any of you. You are going to tell me, identify 2 milestones from your business, of the milestones, the results you want to get. And that result must be tangible and concrete, achievable and specific, measurable also. Then just take each of them. What are the activities you will carry out to be able to achieve those milestones? Can we quickly do that? I'll give you 2 minutes. And I want my moderator to look at the time. You can call anybody, any of them, to talk. You tell us the business, give us 2 milestones that you want to achieve. If you like, tell us within the range of the year or the month, if it is not for 1 year, if it is just for 1 month, depending on the kind of business you are going into. Then give us 2 or 3 activities you will carry out to achieve each of the milestones. 1 minute more. 1 minute more. So if you have not been thinking of milestones for your business now, we cannot finish all the thinking now, but at least you will do that better after the training to set your milestones. And that is what we as evaluators will look at the end of the day, whether you are able to achieve your milestones. What are the activities? Okay, is there any volunteer before we now call names?
So far, there is none.
Anybody there?
So far, there is none.
If there is none, then we call them to tell us what they have done.
Okay.
Just have a selection of one.
Okay. Actually, I had wanted to beckon to one Kalu Uka to speak, but unfortunately, I think he's not in the house because he has been a regular person on the exercise.
Okay.
So I think I would want to call on Ogochuku. Are you around, Ogochuku?
Okay, but there are people raising up their hands here.
Okay.
No, that has been there for quite some time. Lola and Ifeanyi.
Okay. Yes.
Yes.
There's
And
one
let them lower their hands after.
Sorry, where? Rafiu Mustafa. Okay. Then Rafiu, can you have the floor, please? Rafiu, if you can hear me, have the floor. Rafiu Mustafa, if you can hear me, the floor is yours. Meanwhile, as we await Rafiu to come on board, Ogochuku, I have recognized you. Can you please contribute, Ogochuku?
Hello, I'm here now.
Okay, Rafiu is around. Rafiu, you have the floor.
So, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
The business I've just identified. Am I audible?
Yes,
you are.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes,
Hello,
you
continue.
The business I've identified. The business I've identified is Gary. I have the intention of creating a business, a Gary that would be portable, that people can just enter into market, take instead of using Moodle or the.
All right.
I think his network is shaking.
Yes. So, Suleiman, can we share your experience? Suleiman Mohammed Odoma. Suleiman Mohammed Odoma, can we share your experience? Have you set milestone for? Yes, Suleiman. Apparently, there is no. Okay. Rafiu Mustafa, are you back? Rafiu Mustafa. Sorry, sir. Since there is no one, can you continue?
Okay, since there is no one, let's do it together now.
Suleiman is on. No, Suleiman has been unmuted. Okay, Suleiman, please speak up. Speak up, Suleiman. Speak up.
I do not really have it.
Please, maybe you have to mute yourself then. Mute yourself again.
So what that is telling us is that we have an assignment in our hand. Because for you to have a gainful and profitable business, you must also have your milestones. You must set the results that you are expecting from your business. So whatever business you are going into, you must be ready to set the milestone. So let's look at this. How do you set these milestones and the schedule of your activities? So your milestone depends on your business, as I said on. So my milestone is, if I'm into service oriented, like somebody who want to be who is an agro consultant, consulting for poultry, your milestone could be that you want to be a poultry consultant that reach nothing less than 50 poultry farm in a year. That is your milestone. Or within 6 months, you will be able to consult for 50 poultry farms. You know, that is not just it's not qualitative, it's not theoretical. It should be actual at the end of the day. And by the time you begin your work, your service rendering, you are going from one poultry to another. You take note of it. You take note of it. And at the end of the day, were you able to achieve that particular milestone? So to do that, you need activities to be able to do that. And you cannot achieve that when you have your activity. You must schedule your activity. And we have tools that can help you to break your milestone to tangible activities that you need to schedule. And by the time we are saying schedule, you also put timelines, as I said earlier on. There is this particular instrument that we call Gantt charts that are very good for a businessman to schedule his activities so as for him or her to achieve the milestone. And when you are talking about Gantt chart, it's just a form of horizontal bar charts that you use to schedule your business activities. And in that particular Gantt chart, you break down the tasks. The tasks are the activities of your work. The work breakdown. You break down the work structure and therefore the activity attached to each of them. You also look at your business deliverables. Your business deliverables to be able to achieve your milestone. What are those things that you need to do? The actions you want to display for you to achieve it. And when you have your activities, you can also have sub-activities under each of them. You break down to specific and detailed so as for you to be able to follow it up at the end of the day. When you want to draw your Gantt chart, what do you do to schedule? Number one, you think of all the activities that will help you to achieve your milestone. You will also decide what will be, who will be responsible for each of those activities, so that where you need to delegate, you'll be able to delegate. You identify the tasks and their relationship. How are the tasks related together? We are going to that practically, we shall do that. Also, you determine and allocate your resources. You schedule it. How many staff do I have in this area? How many tools do I need to deploy in this area? And at the end of the day, what is my expectation? Then you also take care of your risk. You anticipate your risk and your problems. The problems you are likely in drawing up your Gantt chart, you must think about, is there any risk that I need to put into this? Is there any problem I need to circumvent or to surmount to put to my scheduling? And also all other contingency things that will come in and potential problem, you must really work on that. So let's look at this, please. As I told you the other time, I set a milestone. And my milestone is to produce 1,000 tons of gari. That is my milestone. Actually, within 1 year, within a year, I should be able to supply and produce and supply 1,000 tons of gari to the market. Then, how will I be able to achieve this goal? as a startup, I'm just a starter. I'm going to that Gary production. Number one, you think about your registration of your business. Number two, as one of the activities you need to carry out, participation in training. As you are actually undergoing training now, is part of the startup processes. Then after the training, you want to actually cultivate land, acquire and the cultivation of your land is another activity. After you have cultivated the land, you also need to plant your cassava. After that, if you need to apply fertilizer, there's a time for your fertilizer application. Then you need to weed. Weeding is part of the activity. Then after you have weeded and your garri are fully grown, you need to harvest. Harvesting is part of activity of your cassava. When your cassava are harvested, you also need to process the cassava to make garri. That is another activity. Then after you have gotten your garri now, you now go into sales of the garri as another activity. But when you look at each of these particular activities, each of them can still have sub-activities underneath. For me to register my business, what are the other activities I need to carry out? For me to participate in training, what are other activities to achieve that participation in training? For me to cultivate my land, what are the other activities? Employing of laborers, buying of tools they are going to use, giving of food and everything. So all these are sub-activity under that. So each of your major activities can also be broken down into sub-activities. And all that you are doing is for you to achieve your milestone. If that one is now taken to your Gantt chart, let me just use full slideshow so that you can see where. So if you now put this one into your Gantt chart can be done on Excel sheet. Ajay Alima in the morning was trying to show us how we can use Excel. So this is your Gantt chart. And how do I get into this place? I open an Excel sheet and have my rows and columns. And under my row, I have activities. And I divided my timelines for 1 year. Activity I will carry out within 1 year for me to be able to have 1,000 tons of garri at the end of the day. So you can now see from here that under registration of business, I want to carry out my registration of business in January. Can you see it from the drawing? Where you have the red bar. The red bar are the activities, and I want to indicate the time of the year that I want to go into that particular business. Then, if you go to activity number 2, participation in training. I want to participate in training for 2 months. That is January and February. So after my training, I want to go into cultivation of my land by March. And that is why you see under cultivation of land under March, the month of March. So I want to use the whole month of March to do that. Then I want to plant my cassava after clearing. I want to plant my cassava in May, clearing all the piece of land that I want to use. Then I will use the whole month of May to plant my cassava. Then after the planting, I go into maintenance by doing weeding. But before that, as I'm weeding also, I can also go on in the applying of fertilizer. So you can see both I plant my cassava in April and apply fertilizer in May. You know, all these are assumptions. It's just for illustration. It may not actually be like that in the real sense. Also, I want to do spraying of the weeds, that is maintenance, clearing, between June and September. Then start my harvesting, because within 1 year, I want to get that. It means that the type of cassava I will go into should not be a cassava that tries for 1 year or for 2 years before it produces. I have some hybrid cassava that can produce between 5 and 6 months. So that is the kind of cassava I will go into. So, and I will start my harvesting from October. And by November, as I'm harvesting, also I will begin my processing of gari, because you know cassava will not wait. As I'm harvesting, my gari processing will also go on. And at the same time, but as I'm harvesting and producing, I want to start my sales of gari by November, and I will be selling up to December. So at the end of the day, I want to see whether I am able to produce and sell that 1,000 tons of gari. But if you can see from the chart, you will see that there are some processes or activities that overlaps. Can you identify them? Who can tell me the overlapping activities, please? I want you to look at that particular diagram, the chart, and tell me the overlapping activities. Anybody? Is there any activity that are overlapping? Activities that can be going concurrently at the same time. Anybody? Anybody writing? You can also chat. If you want to chat, they will see it, and they will help us to see. Are we tired?
Yeah, Mr. Anthony Akubo said spreading of weeds. Okay. And then Tosan also say spraying of weeds. So we have spreading of weeds and spraying of weeds.
Spraying of weeds, where are they overlapping? Is overlapping with what? Because when something is overlapping, you have to mention two things. Is that not so?
Can I observe?
Yes. Yes.
Participation in training is overlapping, and so also is harvesting of cassava.
Which ones are overlapping?
Hello. What? Registration of business and participation in training, then going down, harvesting of cassava and processing of gari. They are overlapping.
Okay. Somebody is saying that registration of business and participation in training, they are overlapping.
Yes.
When are they overlapping? At what month? Or in what month?
The first set, January, February, while the second set is around, I can't see it on my screen, it should be around October, November. Yes.
Okay. So you can see from here now that registration and business and participation in training, they are overlapping only in January. Look at it very well.
Okay.
Can you see that?
Yes, you're right. Yes, you're right. Yes.
It's only in January that the two activities. So we are saying that by the end of January, you must have finished all your registration. But you will continue with your training. That's what we are saying in February. Yes. And when you go to the month of October and November, three things are overlapping there. Three activities: spraying of weeds, harvesting of cassava, processing of gari, and sales of gari are overlapping. So, but for October, harvesting of gari and processing of gari, they are what? They are overlapping. When you go to October, the three of them are overlapping. As you are harvesting, you are processing, you also start your what? Your sales, and so on. So what we are saying here is this: some activities that overlap, you must identify them and be able to schedule your business activity so that there will be no problem. But you can see from here, there are some activities that are exclusive by themselves. They are on their own. They are exclusive. It means that if you don't cultivate land, look at it. If you don't finish the cultivation of land, you cannot start to plant your cassava. So when one activity ends is when another activity starts. Take note of that. So there are some business activities like that until you do this, you cannot do this. So one activity is prerequisite to another. You cannot say you want to sell garri without you first of all harvesting the cassava and processing it. So the sales of garri must actually happen before you dispose the garri. So that is why in October you have harvesting of cassava and processing of garri coming first before you now in November you start your what? Your sales. So these are the information the Gantt scheduling is telling us. The chart is telling us. It will show you the overlapping activities. It will show you the timing. It will show you those activities that are compulsory and prerequisite for one another activity to happen. I hope we understand this. Is there any question on this, please? Is there any question on this? Our time is fast when we have another component of the discussion that we are going into now. Activity scheduling, is there any question? Okay. So if there's no any raise of hand or any comments, is there any chatting question?
Yeah, yes. Can I have your attention?
Yeah.
Can I have your attention, sir?
Yes, sir.
One Chukuma Victor has observed that his milestone is the availability of funds, that once there are funds, everything will now take its proper place. Then earlier on, Joseph Ifeanyi Chukwu raised his hand. I don't know whether he is still on. Then you have two people who have indicated their desire to contribute on their experiences. One
Okay,
is in
thank you.
poultry, the other one is in stock. The one
Thank
in
you.
poultry is Joseph Beatrice, while the other one in stock taking or whatever is in Sanusi Abubakar Sadiq.
Okay, sir. Thank you. I want to tell you that availability of fund is not a milestone. Are you getting me? When you say my milestone is availability of fund, that is conditional. It's not a milestone. So if it is not available, what happens? But we are saying that if you want to, availability of funds is part of the resources you are going to put into the business. So we assume that you have your funds are available and you want to start the business now. Availability is just one of your SWOT analysis that may be a threat to your business. So, but you are not making milestone on the amount of income, the amount of financial resources you want to put in place, but what you want to achieve in the business is what we are looking at when we are talking about milestones. So availability cannot be your milestone. We assume that your fund is available and you are starting the business now. What are the things, specific things, deliverables, and the milestone you want to attain in the business? So that is what we call milestones. So I just give the comments and the sharing of experience from two of them, one in agri and the other one, and let them make it sharp so that we can move forward. Can you allow them to make their comments?
Yeah, good day.
Okay, if you have the floor.
Yeah, good day, sir. Please, I wanted to comment based on when you asked monitoring, because
Okay.
I have a poultry.
Okay.
I have a poultry. Yes, ongoing. So what actually happened based on my experience so far is that I always, with my staff, after training them how we can run the poultry, I always been around with them and observe. I had noticed that the birds also has feeling. The bird also have feeling. So if it's not well monitored, when they are sick, one will not even know. It's not just to put food for them or give them a drink and the rest of them. So one have to really observe them and know where their mood is changed. You know, that is what I wanted to contribute when you are asking about monitoring.
Okay, thank you very much. So that we must be on the lookout to actually monitor the health status of the beds
Yes.
before
Correctly.
the absolute happens. Thank you very much.
Sorry,
Yes.
sir. We
Mr.
have a
Speaker,
comment. Okay,
Mr.
sorry. We
Speaker,
have a
sir.
comment. We have a
Mr.
comment here
Speaker, sir.
from Dr. Sam
Dr. Sam,
Awolumase.
yes.
He
Yeah.
said, supposing harvesting is
It's a
done
question.
in phases, should it be overlapped with processing and sales?
Supposing what?
Harvesting is done in phases. Should
Yeah.
it be overlapped with processing and sales?
Yes. In this scenario of making gari, yes, if you are, that is why we say you can still be harvesting from October to December. Is that not so? But you cannot polarize your processing and say that until you finish the first phase of harvesting before you start. You have to, immediately you harvest your gari, your cassava, the processing must start. Because if not, your cassava will do what? Will come rotting. You waste the cassava. So it's possible for you to face your harvesting, but you cannot face your processing because you can't leave the cassava to stay for days. I've been cassava processing, gari processing for some time from my small farm. Any of the cassava that's been left for 2 or 3 days, you find out that the gari will become black, will change color. The color will not come out well. So anytime you start your harvesting of cassava, processing must also start, so as for you to conserve the quality of the texture of the gari that you are actually coming out. Yes, thank you. So is there any other person want to make comments? It's okay. So if there is no any comment.
So far none, but you need to be reminded you have only less than 10 minutes more.
Okay, thank you very much. So adding my 10 minutes before. So we are looking at business mentoring now. Business mentoring. And when we are talking about mentoring, I will be fast because of my time. You look at our activities in life. Academic activity, political activity, musical activities, business activities, technological activities, agricultural activities. In all facets of life, we have mentors. We have mentors, and you can be mentored on all of these activities. So what we are saying is that whichever area where you are pitching your tent for the mentor, for your business, you can actually get a mentor there. So what do we mean by mentoring then? So we are looking at having a relationship with a successful and experienced person in that area of your business. You create a relationship, and that person, after creating that relationship, to guide you, to advise you, to give you the overall overview of the business, to initiate you with likely problems and pitfalls, to even support you in case there is a problem, so that you are not going to fall, to give you support for your standing and to keep on standing throughout the business. So if you're able to get such a person, that person is your mentor. Why? You are a mentee. So in the life cycle of your business, you have to have somebody like that whom you can relate with. And they will also help you to show you where opportunities lies for your business profitability. You may be thinking another way. And because of the experience of these people, they may have other ways and other opportunities which you do not know. And if it is a true mentor, he should be able to guide you through. So what do you do as a mentor? when you use a business mentor, what are you going to get? It will help you to step up your business. Also, they will guide you. The person will mentor you so that you'll be able to have a steady growth in every facet of the growth of your business. And also, they will encourage you to leverage on the business network. They have been relating in the same business and they have their colleagues that are there. So your mentor will be able to give you collaborations to have access to them. And also, a mentor is not for you to take over your business. A mentor will still make you to be accountable to your business so that at the end of the day, you now say that it's my mentor that runs me down. Then the mentor will help you to focus on your goals and help you to overcome your challenges and also stimulate you. If there is any other new areas, new places, new land to cultivate, to make your business to grow, it will also help you. So, except for our time, maybe let me finish, we come back to this activity. That I want you to identify your mentors in the areas of business. And you tell us the unique thing you intend to gain from that mentor. And also, you tell us the area of your weakness and the area where you want your mentor to strengthen. Be thinking about this. We shall come back to this activity. Choose a mentor in the area of the business you are going into. And what is the unique thing you want to learn from that mentor? And what are your own weak area or your strength area which you want your mentor to actually help you on? So this one will take us to mentorship versus role modeling. Is there any difference between them? Mentorship is the process of relating with an experienced person in the area of your business. But when you are talking about a role model, is a person whose behavior you admire in your business area, somebody you want to emulate. You see somebody will say, I want to be like Obasanjo. Oh, I love the administration of Buhari. I want to be like him as a leader. Some people will say, well, I want to be like Dangote, because Dangote is a successful entrepreneur. Somebody, I want to be like Dan Tata. Also, that particular business name in Nigeria, that when you are talking about business in 70s and early 80s, you talk about Dan Tata. You want to think about all those people like that in your environment that can be your role model, and you want to pattern your life according to their lives. But I want to tell you, we have negative role models in your business. It is not everybody that can be your role model. Yes, you can find out that that person is succeeding in the business, but is he carrying out the business the way he should carry out the business? Or there are some shady activities that the person is doing to get to amass that particular wealth. Those people are negative role models. So we want you to look at positive role models in your environment that you can actually want to emulate. You may want to emulate their character, their business activities, their business management, their business enterprise, everything. You want to be like them. So, and your role model is someone that you can relate, interact with, but unlike mentor. I said, your mentor can become your role model, but not every role model can become your what? Your mentor. That is the difference. So your role model can be anywhere in the world, and you have never talked or anything. All that you can read about your role model is to read their history, maybe their bibliography, or you are reading commentaries about them. And because of that, but you don't have access to them. I want to be like our president. But I want to be like, but I can't have access to him every time. And that is not mentorship. He can be my role model, but he cannot be my mentor. Because if I don't have time, I can't just call him anytime. I can't just go to him at any time. I cannot just ask him questions at any time I want. So it will not be always available unto me to settle my problems and to enlighten me, to give solution to my problem. Then that person can never be my mentor. But I can make him my role model. And I'll be reading about him. I'll be working like him. I want to do everything like him. So, and on the note of this, mentoring is an enriching experience for both parties. For you as a mentor, it will give you opportunity to stay relevant and be adding value to your field of business. That's it. Many people today don't want to be a mentor because they think that if I'm mentoring somebody, I will be spending on the person. No, you are sharing your life, you are sharing your experience, and by the time you bring somebody like this up, that person will always be referring to you. It's happening in academics so much. Also, if you look at our Igbo brothers and sisters, we know that they are business mongoose. And they mentor somebody. You just go to one shop and say, the shop of Chukudi. And when you get there, you also see Emeka, small Emeka there, that is about 10 years old. Then he begins to mentor that particular Emeka. And at a point, when Emeka has actually gotten enough experience, then Emeka will now say, I want to go, my Oga. And the Oga will now, as a mentor, we establish a shop for him. And this particular Oga will still be overseeing what is going on there to guide him, to direct him until he himself become very, very mature. Or in the issue of apprenticeship, we see some people going to one land trade or the other. And it's a form of mentor. Within the 3 years of your apprenticeship, you'll be gaining experience with your master. And after your graduation, a mentor master will not leave you alone. He will still see to your establishment and begin to mentor your own growth, and you become his own child. And he will also want you to have a grandchild for him. So, and the chain will continue like that. So when you as a mentee, it can make you to have the impossible, and the little far journey that you are thinking, that you feel that you are going to journey it alone, it will help you to actually reach your destination in no time. But let me tell you as a mentee, don't expect that your mentee or your mentor should be spending money on you. Are you getting me? You have a mentor for your business. You don't require that particular mentor and relate with him as if he must give you money every time. No. So you don't bring your own burden onto your mentor. He can only guide and advise. He can only direct. But if the mentor has the money, well, I want to be part of the business, he can. But if he's a part of business, the interest now vary. He'll be looking at profitability at the end of the day, and be focusing your business as if I don't mentor you well, I will not be able to get my gain at the end of the day, my investment. And what is the output and the product of my investment at the end of the day? So a mentor do it cheerfully, freely, without having any bias and not even expecting anything from you most of the time. So on this particular note, if there is time, we come back to our activity later. I want to say that business success should be a goal of everyone. Every entrepreneur, every businessman, your success, you don't look at the other side. That should be your goal. And for you to be able to achieve that, You need to monitor all activities of the business. Number 2, you need to evaluate effectiveness of your input process and the quality of your product. Evaluation is very, very important at any level you want to do it. Then you need to identify your deliverables, your milestones, what you really want to achieve. Somebody in the first day was saying, I want to do this, I want to, this is what I want to, and our presenter that, and I said, no, it seems as if I can't understand what you really want to do. You must be sure of what you want to do. Are you actually, okay, so the person asked that, I want to produce gari and cassava or something like that, and do you really want to be a cassava producer and also processing, or you want to be producing cassava to sell and that is the end, or you want to be getting the processed gari and that is what you want to be doing? So you must be distinct and schedule, have your milestone, what you really want to do, and also schedule your activities. Don't muddle them up. Know what you want to achieve within the specific time, and that's the reason why you can monitor at the end of the day whether those things are achieved. Get and relate with a mentor. It will help you. Get and relate with a mentor. It will help you because you have not gotten enough experience. You can get more from outside. Then identify a role model with a positive influence in your business area. Identify that person, wanting to be like that particular person in that business. And at the end of the day, you yourself, you become a role model for another person to emulate. On this particular note, I want to say thank you for your listening, but we still have one slide pending, and that is our activity. Thank you very much.